Hey guys, Sunstreaker Wozza here. Welcome back to another Thursday live stream where, yes, we're going to be covering all the latest features that have come to the game recently. We're also going to talk about the Space Age stream, going through some things, clearing some things up. A lot of information in the stream today to sort of go through. And also talk about a couple of other things as well that could be coming to the game, a couple of questions that we've been seeing in chats, and general topics of conversation that we've sort of seen in the game. So, first things first, the big thing happening this week is not even Transformers related. It is the World Cup, the biggest sporting event ever. And I know there's a lot of Americans that watch my stream, but can you imagine if the Super Bowl was every 4 years? Can you imagine that? So you can imagine the build up to such a competition that's, every 4 years. Absolutely crazy, and cannot wait for it to start. It starts this Sunday with the opening group, and then England, I think, play on Monday, which I presume means the USA will play on Monday as well. So if you are American watching this, then I suggest you go and check out your team playing next Monday and follow them. And then I think the weekend after that, it's a week after that, England are playing USA. So that could be pretty interesting. But really, really looking forward to the World Cup. Cannot wait. Super pumped. Can't wait. And then, yes, obviously, like I said, loads more information which we'll go through shortly. But before we go through that, let's have a look who we've got in the chat. So we've got Stay Puffed, Richard Trender, and E-Rods. You three guys are going to get a Sunstreaker Wozza Stash Crystal just for being in the chat earlier. I do this occasionally. I give random codes out. You three guys get a code for being first in the chat. Why not? Hey, grab a code. Then we've got Penny Lancaster, Grind Time, ND Prime, William Wilkinson. As always, big shout out to my members. Big thank you. Chris Harmon as well. We have got Terra Titano, thanks for joining. Jason Rowley. We've got Lord Avix. Freezius Max, thanks for joining, buddy. Obviously, go and check out everyone's channel, guys. Grind Time, Freezius Max, Engineer Hoist, Soldier, our DJ Hart. Hope I've not missed anyone. Go and check them all out, guys. Then we've got as well Deception. We've got Where Did You Go? Always baffled with that name because I'm still here. We've got Valhalla Stream. We've got Gerrit. Thanks for joining, brother. Good to see you. We've got Volcanicus, Kill Cannon as well, one of our members. Thanks for joining, buddy. Carnage Mac. Alright. We've got Bossman. Thanks for joining. Chip Cox. Who else have we got? Beer Money. Thanks for joining, buddy. Who else? We've also got Bartosh. Thanks for joining. Yo. Meta Bear as well. Orville Farmer. Very strange name. For me, Orville is that doll that we from the 80s. Weird duck-looking doll. So Orville Farmer. Hey, I don't think I'm gonna find one of them, but hey. Hidden Woodsman as well. Andrew Stevenson. Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor's commented. Chris Taylor. I don't know how you comment your own name, but hey. Who else have we got? Solus, thanks for joining, buddy. And Joseph Torillo. And I think that is just about everyone in the chat. So, what we're going to do is we're going to jump straight into the newsletter, and there's plenty to be talking about in there, and then we'll go off on a tangent and cover some subjects while we're having a look at the newsletter. So, let's have a look. So, bar we've got our week Ninny Bong. This week's event is kicking off. Got loads. I'm trying to load a lot of things today in the stream, so hopefully it'll go quite smooth. Got a lot of things open because there's a lot of things I want to sort of show and go through. So this week is week 6 of the 8-week season, with the endurance event being week 8 of the new bots, which we haven't got it in test yet, but I've got some screenshots from the stream to sort of go through and sort of talk about my first impressions of seeing it and what I think off the bat without even testing. Don't need to test it, just off the bat, first impressions. But this week's event is obviously all linked to the World Cup. Again, super pumped. It's a 1.5 million point event, super XP as always. It's all about the 5-star shards, 1,500 5-star shards. We've got 100 mecha football chests with the chance to contain non-dupe. Now, it was 1%. People were pushing to get that drop rate increased, but sadly they've said no, so it's still 1%. But if you do complete the event, then chances are you will get at least a non-dupe bot and a non-dupe combat. You've got a chance if you don't finish it, and I'm sure there'll be bundles with these chests in as well, if you want to spend on that instead. And then we've got 300,000 Spark and Conspire Spark as well. 300,000. Do you remember when we used to get 50,000 in an event? Do you remember that? We get 100,000. We're like, whoa, 100,000. 300,000 is crazy. Crazy. And then we've got obviously the chest littered with out. I think it's about 100 chests, something crazy like that. A lot of chests. So they said this is not final. This may sort of change, but the general gist of it will be this. So obviously the mecha chests are like 1 and 2, and then as soon as we hit the sort of 1 million mark, they start going up then, 1.2, sorry, they start going up to 5, 5, 5, 5, ending in 10 if you hit the 1.5 million. So pretty cool. And then the chances are pretty much a third, 33% roughly, premium shards, 3-star shards and 4-star shards. So you got to think, if you're getting 33 of each, that's a lot of 4-star shards and a lot of 3-star shards just for finishing the event. So a very good event, guys. And if you get a non-dupe 4-star crystal or combat in the process, then brilliant. Personally, there's a couple of combats that I want, a couple of 4-stars which we'll go through soon. What I want from the event, hopefully, and we'll go through sort of why I want them bots. But yeah, it's looking to be a decent event. I quite like it. It's 5-star shards, more of a shard as well, and a chance event as well. You got something guaranteed. You've got something by chance. So for me, that's a good event. If it's all around chance, I'm not a fan. So you know, at least you got guaranteed 5-star shards. Usual battle zones as always, and then game updates and information. So bundles. So this weekend we've got SG Jetfire, Blur, Runabout and Minerva. Very good bots. So if you don't have them bots, then I would consider maybe buying a bundle. But with Black Friday round the corner, I'd probably wait for Black Friday. It's looking to be really good from what Dale's been saying. And I've been talking about it in playtest, and I have said that, you know, it needs to be at least the same value as last year or better. Has to be. So remember, last year we actually had quadruple value by mistake. It was triple value, I think it was, and we had quadruple value, I think, something like that. Crazy, absolutely crazy. So yeah, looking for some decent bundles again this year. We've all been sort of chipping in, saying this is the bots that I would like to see. When they did the survey, the bots that you voted for, they're the bots that they're trying to put in these sort of surveys, with all our sort of ideas as well put in. And I think there's going to be some good bundles. I really do. I think, especially for new players that are willing to spend, there's going to be some good bundles in there for some good bots. You know, we've seen some bundles in the past where there's one good bot and then 3 rubbish ones, and you're chasing that one, but you're getting 4 crystals in it. So you're a bit like, oh yeah, but it's only a quarter of the chance. Whereas this time, we're saying, listen, let's put some decent bots in there. So if there is, you know, one bot you want and you don't get that, you get another one, at least you've got a decent bot regardless. So the playtest in the background, I've been suggesting loads of different bundles, and it's looking really good. If they go with the ideas we put forwards, looking really good. But obviously we'll know more by early next week. A bit less last minute again, which we'll go for a bit shortly, but it is what it is. Then we've got the new bots, Top Spin and Terramander. Finally, a Decepticon that I can pronounce. Super pumped about this guy. I'm looking forward to the event just because I've got this guy and this guy since I was a kid. Bit broken, but hey, You know, it's all good. It's not about if they work or not. It's not about if they're broken. It's about the nostalgia. And super pumped about this guy because I'll be honest with you, I'd never heard of him. You know, in G1 things like that. Obviously, as a kid, never in the wasn't in the cartoons. I don't think. But I had him as a toy. You know, and was quite a fan. I liked him. You know, as a toy. And so yeah, really pleased this guy's coming to the game. So yeah, super pumped to see him in the game and can't wait. Then, as always, like I said, follow your content creators. Go and check them out, guys. They all do good content for different sort of aspects of the game. So go and check them out. Some cool artwork from our members in Discord as well. Cool collection there as well. Quite jealous of that collection, not gonna lie. And like I said, week 6 out of 8. With the Black Friday weekend coming next week, it's a 15k event, so not an event you need to spend on, so you can spend on bundles. They have in the past had the Black Friday weekend on like a big weekend like this, and it's not really worked out well because you either spend on Black Friday or you spend on the event really. But yeah, I'm pleased they brought the Black Friday weekend in a sort of saga like that where it's a nice easy event, nice chilled event, so looking forward to that as well. Can't wait. Bug fixes and improvement. Now this is not just a quick chat. This is going to be a bit lengthy. So there has been so many bugs in the game right now, to the point where I actually had people messaging me in Discord yesterday. I actually had one guy really kicking off with me, and I was like, whoa, like what is going on? Why is this guy sort of like almost attacking me the way he is? And so, you know, it got a bit feisty in the chat. I was like, right, no, listen, let's just give the guy a chance and see what's going on. And then I sort of talked to him in private. I just said, like, you know, I'm sick of the game and tired of this. And I was like, you know what? I actually agree with you. You know, everything he was saying, I was kind of agreeing with. I was like, you're right. You know, and don't think that the playtesters don't see this in the background. And people sometimes think that the playtesters are, you know, so in line with the apes and agree with everything they say. And trust me, if you've ever been a playtester, you know that's not the case. There are some people that always agree with the apes, but on the whole, most of the playtesters don't, and they'll sort of fight their corner a bit. And I think you need to be able to do that as a playtester. You need to fight for whatever you think is right and whatever you think is good for the game. What I think is good for the game might not be what you think is good for the game, but you've got to fight your corner. Whatever you think is right for the game, stand by your beliefs. And I've said this to people in the past, that because I'm your friend and we're in playtest, I'm not going to agree with you, and I don't believe you should agree with me. Just because we're friends doesn't mean we have the same viewpoint. What we should be able to do is stand by our point, argue our point, maybe convince the other person, maybe put a point across they've not thought about, and then maybe agree to disagree, whatever, and at the end of it, you're still friends. It doesn't matter, you know, but you can't get stuck up because someone doesn't have the same opinion as you. You know, I'll try and sort of like, you know, push my opinion, because sometimes the people haven't thought about something. Some people will say like, oh, I think this, and I'm like, yeah, but you haven't considered this. It's not really feasible what you're asking or suggesting. You've got to think of the repercussions. But if they've thought of these repercussions, sometimes you turn around and go, you know what, you've got a fair point there. I didn't think of that, actually. There's been a few times that I'm playtesting, even I've not thought about something and gone, you know what, that's a good point. I didn't think of that, and actually now, thinking about it, I actually agree with you more than what I did in the first place. So don't think that the testers always agree with the apes. And we've been going mad about bugs lately. And I understand what Dale is saying. So Dale, if you're not too sure who Dale is the Space 8 community manager. So he deals with Discord and talks to the talks to the players and does all the surveys that you see and things like that. He's a well-known person in the community anyway. And you know, everyone's been on his case, and I get it. Listen, I agree that it's not fair, but I understand that in the background they're working on a lot of things. So my understanding is that sometimes the testers will ask for things, and we get told it's not possible with our tool set. We hear that a lot, and it's kind of frustrating a bit, because you're like, that'd be really cool if we could do that. But with the current whatever you've got, you can't do it. And what we found is when they bring out new bots, if they're using a particular part of the ability, if they change that for that bot, it changes the code for every other bot. And what I think they're doing in the background is separating all that. So we've seen the glitch where we're using the I think it was the sharks, and because of the buff to Sharkticons on the on Prime League uh, war effects years ago. Um, the sharks are like one hit in the HQ basically, which is a bug in the game. So that came from doing something else in the game that affected something else. We've seen that Top Shot has been broken recently. That's not because they touched Top Shot. That's because they're trying to balance the new fire damage cores, which is like anti-fire. We talked about it previously on my stream last week. I think it was the week before. Fireproof cores that are supposedly coming out. So obviously, while they're changing that, that has affected Top Shot. So every time they bring a new feature out that features something, it affects something in the game. And I think they've realised that they can't actually carry on like this, and so they're trying to do loads of fixes in the background. They're trying to work on HQ18 and all that brings. I mean, there's so much to HQ18 in terms of balancing, in terms of the you know, oh my, honestly, there's so much. And then you've got obviously the new feature we'll talk about soon as well. Then you've got obviously that they're trying to improve combiners by raising the levels. Then you've got the fact they're trying to fix the current bugs they've got in the game already, and then they're creating more bugs because they're trying to fix things. To the fact there's loads of bugs in the game. And listen, I agree, guys, it is crazy right now. But we've got to give them a bit of time, sadly, to sort of fix these things, because it will make the game better in the long run. It'll reduce the amount of bugs that will be in the game from then on. And I agree. I've been kicking off with Dale. Same, and I understand it. And even though I understand it, I still get frustrated by it because I'm trying to play the game at a high level, and it's hard to do when there's bugs in the game that affects your war scores and your events or gameplay or whatever it might be. I get it, but sadly, we've got to give them a bit of time to fix these things. But don't be scared of, if you found a bug, go and message Dale or go and send a ticket in, let them know. They need to know. But don't forget, guys, Dale has said this, they also need a replay. So it can't be a base trial, it has to be either a war attack or an event attack, or is it a war attack? I think a war event or a general attack basically, so they can pull the data and see why it's doing it. It's not just a case of watching a replay, they need to pull the data from that and be able to sort of see why it's doing it, obviously to do recoding. But just keep that in mind, guys, that you need a replay of some kind, or be able to reference a replay and say, listen, I did this on this date, this two attacked, this is what happened, and they can go and look at it. So yeah, if you do find any bugs, then obviously let Dale know. But the bugs that they have fixed is they supposedly have fixed 6-run and trigger happy from humping walls. I'm not seeing it myself, but I doubt it. They've tried this multiple times to fix this, and it just doesn't work, sadly. It's all about pathing on walls and ugh. But yeah. And then they've applied another fix for Top Shot and Fireline because they weren't working as intended. So it's broken. They tried to fix it. It didn't work. They said it was working. It wasn't working. And now they've applied another fix. So hopefully that has been sorted. Cool. So let's see what everyone's saying in the chat. Let's have a look. Yeah, Joseph Trill, that's what we're going to talk about soon. So yes, it's going to be really cool in a minute. Yeah, that's a good point. Listen, Tano made a good point there that because it's a non-Duke 4-star event, the chance of it anyway, you might get two. You might get two bots. Hey, who knows? Some people might be lucky. But yeah, some people, I'm sure someone out there will actually, you know, get a bot that they're missing for a combiner, because we know what happens. We know that everyone is missing a combiner bot. I mean, come on, we know how the game works. They make it so one bot is rare for everyone. It's different for everyone, but one bot is always rare. Every single combiner I've ever got, I've had one bot that is super hard to obtain. Always. So, you know, hopefully this will give them guys a chance to complete a combiner. I'm sure many will. So it's a good event. Yeah, I agree, Chris Carmen, that we did know a week before Black Friday last year what the bundles would be. So it is a bit last minute, but let's be honest, we're probably going to spend regardless. So, what else? Chris Harmon, I've not got you in the members scroll. It's automatic, bud. So I'll have to have a look at it. But it's yeah, I don't even control it. It just comes up automatically, so I'll have to have a look at that. Not a clue, bud. Let's have a look. Chris Harmon watching Wozza on a 50-inch TV. Jeez. Did I buy a new TV for the football? No, I've got an half-decent TV anyway, so I'll watch it on that. I'll probably have my dad round. My dad's a bit England fan, so I'll probably have my dad round, maybe a couple of my friends to watch the game. I might have gone to a pub with Jake, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I took, funny story actually, dead quickly. I actually took Jake to a game in the last, was it the Euros or the last World Cup? I've been in the last World Cup actually, a few years ago. And we're in this room and it was absolutely packed out, because obviously that's our sport of choice. Absolutely packed out. And obviously Jake was there because he enjoys football. So obviously we're drinking beers. It's about 7 or 8 at night when the game was on. So I said to him, do you want some Coke? You know, so he had a few Cokes, just some chocolate, you know, sort of treating him a bit because we're at the pub and stuff like that. So give him chocolate, give him Chris. And basically he had a sugar overload and was just sick everywhere. But it's quite funny that we were all drinking and we were fine, and he's been drinking soft drinks all night, then spewed up because of that sugar he drank. So, what else? But yeah, can't wait for this World Cup. I can't say it enough. Honestly, I cannot wait. Cannot wait. Cool. Yeah. So, as sort of mentioned in the chat, someone's mentioned it there. The big news this week is cross-faction. Cross-faction. Honestly, super pumped for this. Cannot wait for this because I even considered maybe joining a cross-faction alliance until I sort of spoke to our alliance, said, would you accept cons into the alliance? They're like, yeah, probably would. So maybe we'll just get cons joining us. I don't know what's going on yet, but I sort of said today, listen, how's this going to work? Do we have to set up a separate alliance? Do we have to set up a cross-faction alliance? Because I know a lot of alliances have worked hard to get their war wins and their Prime League war wins, and you know they've got a good name in the game, so they don't want to change their name even. But Dale said that no, it's something you'll be able to choose in your alliance, a current setting. So something I think you'll be able to turn on and off. So really cool that cons will be able to join the bots. And I said to Dale straight away, I said I will guarantee you will have people complaining, saying it's going to kill off Decepticon alliances. It's going to kill them off. And sure as hell, there was people complaining it's going to kill off Decepticon alliances. But sadly, guys, this is the answer to make cons competitive again. And no, it's not going to make con alliances competitive again. If anything, maybe the opposite. But you know, it wasn't fair that cons could not compete with bots. It wasn't fair, let's be honest. But there was no solution to it. But they finally got one, which is really cool. I'm glad, again, something else the team have been working on. And, you know, when Dale said they've been working on so much in the background, they have. Credit to them. You know, I am very critical of the Apes. But to be fair to them, they have been working on a hell of a lot. Maybe too much. And this is the problem. This is why it's, you know, we've had nothing for months, and now all of a sudden this is why we're getting these bugs, because it's on an overload now. They tried too much at once. They tried fixing too many things, and you know, it is good that the game is progressing and new features are coming out, and you can probably tell by my streams that I'm more energetic about the game and more, you know, invested now, because you know the game's progressing and there's something new to do and something to look forward to. So I'm more positive, because the game was very stale for a while, because there was no new HQs, no new fish, just bot combat. And let's be honest, for last year as well, the bots and combats weren't that great. I was like, you know, I was playing the game, but my heart weren't really in it as much, because like there's nothing for me to chase. Whereas now they're bringing out things that, you know, I can look forward to and I can progress on. So yeah, super cool. Like I said, they're working on these things. I'm looking forward to maybe having some, you know, I've got a lot of con friends that I talk to. Maybe they're members of my channel. Maybe I just know them through Discord, whatever. But a lot of con friends that, you know, I may be able to team up with eventually. So it's you know, pretty cool. I mean, when I set this channel up, I sort of did an idea of, rewards for being members, and one of the things was I can go and play with people. I said, yeah, I'll come and play with you if we finish the event. And then realised that I couldn't actually do that for all my members because some of them are cons. So I had to retract that and sort of delete it because I was like, well, it's not fair. I can only do it for bots. I know that's the majority of players. It's not fair. You can't offer something to one person and not the other. So we retracted that away and took it back. But, that is possible now. No, if we've completed the event and we're done, we can go and visit con players now, con teams, which is super, super cool. So I would suggest that if you have a lower level con team, make sure you have your setting for bots and cons to be able to join. And yeah, let me know what you think in the chat. But I can't wait, personally. I think it's going to be really, really cool. Not too sure when it's coming. They've always said sometime soon, but there's so much coming that they might stagger it a bit. So it might take a few weeks after HQ18. It might be just in January, maybe in the new year. Not too sure. Don't take my word for it, but I just know that they've got a lot to release over the next few weeks. And things do happen, as we know. HQ18 has been put back a bit because of a few bugs and because we found issues and things like that. So really, really pumped, really, really glad that we can sort of have cross factions and bots and cons can play together. It's going to be pretty cool, yeah. Yeah, Dojak's but agreed the game is really moving at the minute. Yeah. Kilcannon, what was an all-star alliance? Yeah, someone said, are you going to set up an alliance? I was like, listen, I ain't no leader by any means. I do not have the patience. I don't, I see the game a certain way, and I've said this to people like that. I'm very invested in the game, and I like to know my stuff. When something new comes out, I want to know everything about it. I want to know how far it goes. I want to know the range of it. I want to know the cost of it. I want to know everything. So if someone says to me, Wozza, what do you think of X? I can go, it's good in this situation, it's not good in this situation, it works well with this, doesn't work with that, this is a good suggestion. So I can advise people. And that's just been something that I've always done in games, whether it's Call of Duty. I want to know every single gun and what it's good at and what it's not good at. I don't just go on YouTube and look up best guns. I go and try them myself, and I look at what's good for me. And every game I've ever played, I've done that. I've looked at what's best for me and gone and tried tactical things and gone really in depth. And I like to do that with all the bots. And yeah, that's my thing. But I get frustrated, honestly, when people don't know. And I'm not saying new players, but very experienced players. And I'm not saying like the intricate details. But when someone's like, just got this bot, what does it do? I'm like, ooh, come on now, this bot's been out for 6 months, how do you not know what it does? But I understand that people aren't as invested as me, I kind of get that. But top players for me should be invested and should know, know their stuff to make educated changes to their team when they're stuck, or, before war effects or whatever like that. And, that's my thing. But I haven't got the patience with people, sadly, that that don't know these things. It sort of frustrates me a bit, and I can get a bit narky, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not a sort of person that's a good leader. I'm very rigid in the rules. You follow the rules, you stick to the rules. If you don't like the rules, see you later. Stick to the rules and go by them. For me, we're a team, we work together, we all should be aiming for the same thing. Think about your teammates and following the rules to sort of get the best score or do the event or whatever it is. And again, very rigid on that. And I know things happen in RL, and I understand that. But outside of that, you do your part. You do what's necessary. So yeah, I'm not a leader by any means. Exactly, John Cirillo. Imagine bots and cons fighting together. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Bots and cons together. Peter the Greeks put the Bill bot bug needs to be addressing. Wasn't amused yesterday while warring. Yeah, same. It was even more annoying that Dale was like, yeah, it's been fixed. It's like, it hasn't been fixed, Dale. It hasn't been fixed. And the hard thing for me, so I'll be honest, how I sort of test things. So I've talked about it in the past where I get the bot and I make it naked. And when I say naked, I mean I take all cores off, I take everything off, and I judge it by its damage it's doing. If using a healer, I take rung off, I take the cores off, take everything off, and just use the healer as it is. Whatever it is, I use it pure. So when I'm testing things, the best thing to do is take it into normal mode on base trial. So when you do it there, you can see exactly what is happening. But obviously for the build bots, you can't do it on normal mode in Cyber. You've got to do it in Prime League and hard mode. So you can test in Prime League, but it's only 30%, only half effects. So you've got to test it in hard mode. So I tested in Prime League hard mode, tested on my base. Yeah, the build bot was still remaining afterwards. Spoke to Dale, and he's like, it was only in base trials. We don't think it's working in the game. We think it's working intended. It's just base trials. So to try and test it in the game, Prime League hard, you can't do normal battles, because when you do normal battles, then you have to excuse the zones. They start to set the new zones up, and again, these values are nowhere near set. But you can see there, so that's prime zone. So it's got the prime effects, but there's no hard mode there. So you can't test in normal battles against random bases. So you've got to test it in war. So we can't test it on the test server, because the test server is not always the same as the live server. So you've got to test it in the live server in wars. But you've got cooldowns, obviously. And sometimes to test it, you've got to take bots that you don't usually use. So when I was trying to test these effects, I needed to take Prowl, because I know Prowl can one-shot a mortar. I know Jetfire can. Even if the build bot remains, Jetfire could kill the mortar. Whereas Prowl could if the build bot doesn't remain, but couldn't if it does remain. So I had to take Prowl with me. But I don't normally use Prowl that much. He's alright, but he's not as good as Jetfire. So, and I used Jetfire to take out the shield gen, whereas he can't take out the shield gen, I'm pretty sure. So again, it just really broke up my team synergy and things like that. And so even though it's an untracked war, I still want to test things and do things. I don't want to be testing stuff. And then even when you do go to all that lengths to do it, you've got to get a base with the right settings. Because I did it, I was like, yeah, that's working fine, that's no problem. And then realised that they didn't even have the build bot setting on that war. So, you know, really hard to sort of test these things in Prime League hard mode, the way they've been set out. And then couple that with the fact that we've got sharks in Cyber and people are finding it really difficult. They weren't really scaled down enough for Cyber. So, yeah, massive confusion. But I actually kicked off with Dale massively, because I feel like it's story time today. But I kicked off with Dale massively because he sort of suggested in the chat that maybe we should keep it. And that frustrated the hell out of me, I'm not going to lie. Because we did these effects and we set them. And quite a few of us are going, I like these effects. And some are going, it's a bit too hard. And it was quite hard, I'm not going to lie. And I understand the ape said, listen, it's a bit too hard this. We're going to tone it down so that people don't get too annoyed with it and too frustrated. But when Unicron comes around, Unicron League, and the tournaments, we're going to probably use these settings because they were quite hard. And then just up them a bit. And we're like, yeah, fair enough. Okay, no problem. So we've sort of signed them off, or been around that part. Not too sure. And the apes has gone, no, let's make it a bit easier. So they made it a bit easier, which is fair enough. That's fine. You know, we had a conversation a while about Yanis, and he said, listen, this Prime League hard mode is not just for the elite of the elite. It is for the top maybe 5% players, but not for the top 1%. If you're top 1%, you are going to find it easy, sadly. Unicron is where you need to try and excel. So, fair enough, that's what he wants, so we're going to go with that. But then for Dale to say, you know, well, actually, we're going to maybe make it a bit harder by keeping these effects. I was like, what? How can you sign these effects off and say you don't want them too hard, and then when they are a bit harder and top players are going, oh, we like this because it's a real good challenge, and then go, well, let's keep it then. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. You know, you can't have a bug in the game and go, oh, let's keep it because it suits us. If it's a bug in the game, it's a bug in the game. It needs to be addressed regardless. You can't just then sort of incorporate it. It's not fair. And although I enjoyed it, I thought it was good, you know, it's not fair on the player base and the people that do get frustrated. And we can see that now that top players are really enjoying it and go, yeah, that's pretty cool because I'm dropping points and it's challenging. But bottom players, lower down players are getting really, really frustrated. So it's not fair and needs addressing. Definitely agree with that. But yeah, you know, if that would have been in testing that happens, then that would have been it. And I've been sat there going, listen, that's the effects that got signed off, guys. It is what it is. But no, it was not the effects that got signed off, so it does need addressing. Chris Harmon, what do you think of the new rank system? So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. We'll talk about it shortly first. Anything else in the chat? Let's have a look. Previous Max, folks don't try things out in the game enough. Yeah, I probably agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, Pete the Greek. Well, he has changed his mind, to be fair. I started about a bit of a rant at him. Maybe went a bit overboard, to be honest with you. But, you know, I just thought I did lose it. I'm not going to lie. I was like, you can't do this to people. And he was like, yeah, you kind of got a point. I think he was just trying to please people. And when he seen people were like, oh, yes, it's really good, it's really challenging, he thought, oh, right, this actually pleases people. But then I think eventually he saw the other side of it, people getting frustrated, and then was like, yeah, well, I'll see the other side of it now. So, yeah. So, yeah, they are going to address it. Yeah. Vincent Lee. I'm not too sure if it's the effects that linger. I'm not too sure. It might be just protection that lingers. I'm not too sure. Again, I've tried testing it, but it's been an absolute nightmare because I can't test on my base trials because they said that it's just base trials that's broken. Because I can't test it on the live server because live server is different than test. It's really hard to really test it. But they did sort of show in stream the brand new bot. And we're going to have a quick look at some screenshots. What the ability sort of does, if I can get it up. Cool. So, again, a bit blurry. I've had to sort of like, you know, stretch it out. Let's go to the game scene, actually, so I can see it. There we go. So, this is the sort of new ability, and from what we can sort of gather is it's a bit like Warpath, so it does damage in a line, a big amount of damage to the final target. So the damage to the final target is direct damage, so instant damage, so the likes of Prowler or Jazz or whatever you want to, Jetfire maybe, and then on the way to the target is damage over time, so a bit like Warpath in a sense, but with more damage at the end, but damage over time in a line. And then the added effect to it was like track smoke, which protects in a line. So after the stream, I was talking to Dale about something else. Just trying to get some images for the new stuff, for some thumbnails and stuff like that. And he just said, you know, what do you think of the new features? So I said, yeah, that's good, and I like this and that. I was like, new bot. I'm a bit on the fence. I like the direct damage. Brilliant. I like that. You know, damage over time, it's alright. The smoke, though, in a line, I'm not a fan. To be honest, of this smoke in a line. Why are we using bots? Why? I don't understand the thinking behind it, really. You know, because you put this, you know, in a line here. Which bots are going to be in this line? It's going to be some over here, some over here. You know, the bots are going to be all around this section here. If that's how you're going to do a walk or whatever it is. I don't understand this sort of protection in a line. And you could say, oh yeah, for a sack bot, but then a sack bot's got to stay in that line. And I'm not a big fan of that smoke in a line. For me, I would rather have smoke in an area, light tracks, and damage. So damage to target, damage on the way, smoke around your bot. So a bit like smoke screen where it protects your bot or protects an area. That'd be pretty cool. Whether the smoke is for your bot or it's like tracks into an area, that's debatable. Do we need two bots with smoke protection for all your bots? Will it be OP to offer protection in an area and damage over time and damage to target? Who knows? Again, it's all got to be balanced with cost. I think it was 6 plus 5, 5 plus 6 or something crazy like that. Far too costly. But again, depends on the damage. If it's doing crazy damage when it can one-shot something at HQ 18, then it's probably worth it, you know. But the big question for me is the smoke. And let me know what you think in the chat. Which part of it do you like? Which part of it would you change? Which part would you keep? A big shout out to Hugo Gomez for subscribing. Thank you for subscribing. Big thank you. And you're not subscribed yet, guys, go and click that subscribe button to never miss another stream. Thanks for the queue as well, Hugo. So yeah, let me know in the chat what you think. But yeah, and then just to sort of zoom in a bit. So you can see there that it did about, I mean, the damage figures are not final, but it's did about half damage in an area. It was a bit weird that it was sort of doing like these buildings do damage to them. Some of them show as destroyed, but I think it's a bit of a bug, but it may get fixed. But you can see there that, you know, doing sort of 2/3 damage to like a shock tower around that. So judging by that, you know, you're talking like 6,000-7,000 damage to a target, which is quite high. But the apes have talked so much about, you know, comboing bots, and I'm not too sure where they want to go with it right now. I thought they were going one way with it, and I thought that HQ18, the mortars and all that, were like slightly out of reach for Jetfire, and it's like, I think they're done it on purpose. I think they made it slightly out of reach for Jetfire on, you know, on hard mode, probably hard mode, so that you've got to combo it. This is maybe the end for one shots. Maybe not. We're going to talk about it in a minute. Why that is, and that is down to this. So the apes have said they're going to introduce a ranking up system. So it's going to be really interesting, this. It really is. So you can see there that, so what happens is you have to use the bot shards and a resource that we'll get from crystals or whatever to rank up your bots. Now it just says damage boost and health boost there. I'm not too sure if this will increase abilities or not, if it's just DPS and health. I'm hoping it's abilities as well. That'd be really interesting. If it's just DPS and health, then yeah, it'd be alright, but it's not going to make a huge difference for HU18. Yes, they'll survive longer and get through the base faster, but they're not going to take defenses out. But then the big question is, do you want that to happen where they can't one-shot defenses, but they can with the shards? It's something else to chase, maybe. You know, and I saw a lot of players in Cybertron saying that, you know, it's a big gap between free to play and pay to win, and that will always be the case. Sadly, in these sort of games, it will always be that way. That if you're not paid to win, you will always fall behind, but you should always be able to catch up. You should be able to catch up. But pay to win will always get you there a lot faster. And it's the case with this. You will get dupes, and you've got to wait for the dupes. And yes, as someone said, the more bots they add to the game, the less chance you've got every single time. Yeah, that is true. You know, but you know, I do think it's really cool addition to the game. I'm hoping it increases abilities though as well. That's the big question. In terms of shards, I mean, you can see there. So I've seen a lot of people in Discord already sort of saying that they're not happy because it's took them 3 years to get 4,000 shards, and they're still 3,000 off. There's no way they're getting 7,000 shards. But they're presuming that you need to get 7,000 shards to rank it up. You don't, guys. Listen, this is going to be balanced by the playtesters, and we're going to keep free-to-play in mind. We are. Now, for me personally, I would like to see the first rank be quite low. You know, maybe it is a couple hundred shards, 200, 300 shards, something as little as that. You know, nothing crazy. And then maybe as you go up the ranks, I would like to see the increase more, but it costs more shards. But the good news is that once you increase Laser Optimus to a corporal or a sergeant, then the 4-star, 3-star, 5-star will all get the same buff. So if you invest in the 4-star and you're thinking, oh well, I'm investing in the 4-star, I get the 5-star, I'll have to invest in it again like you do with Spark. So when you spark up your 4-star, that doesn't translate into the 5-star. If you spark up the 4-star and then get the 5-star, you start from 0 again. This isn't the case with this. So if you get your, I don't know, for me, Warpath, I'm going to level my Warpath up a bit at the minute. If I can get my Warpath to 65, 10, whatever it is, and I can get him up to, I don't know, Sergeant, Major, who knows, whatever the next rank is. If I do pull a 5-star, then it's not lost. I've not lost that investment. The 5-star will start on that, and that is brilliant. I wasn't sure at first, but I had to think about it. I was like, you know, for free-to-play guys, this is really, really good, because they're going to invest in the 4-star, and they haven't got to worry about reinvesting everything again. So, you know, the amount of people that I talk to in the new player chat where I'm like, don't invest in the 2-star, you're going to regret it. Don't invest in the 3-star too much, because you will regret it. 4-stars are okay, you can invest in them. But, you know, 5-stars where it's at. And you've got to choose that investment and carefully plan. Whereas this, you don't have to. You could just invest in it, go for it, in the knowledge that when you do pull a higher rank star, it's going to feed into that. So that's super cool. That's a really good thing I think they've done that I really, really agree with. But really looking forward to it, like I said, and this has not been in playtest yet. But the only way to get, I think the second resource, they said, was in crystals, I believe, so opening crystals. And again, another good reason why I've been saying to everyone, save your crystals. I've said it time and time and time again. If you don't need it, save it. And this is what happens when you do. So, super pumped for this. And just to show, so I said a while back that I was saving these. I said I didn't know why, and again, I had no idea that anything like this was coming to these, I promise you. But I was just like, I don't really need a duplicate hoist. I've got enough 5-star shards, you know, a duplicate laser Optimus. I don't really need that. And listen, hoist is not even on my war squad, so it's not like I bought hoist bundles thinking, oh yeah, because I know this is coming. I mean, laser Optimus, I've just dropped actually from my war squad. Who else have we got? Yeah. Combats aren't getting it. You can't rank up combats, but you never know eventually. We've got a Tigerhawk dupe, Ultra Magnus. So none of these guys are really on my war team, so it won't really benefit me. But I've got the shards. But there's still quite a lot of shards here. So who've we got on the war team? Let's start at the beginning. So Blur be a good one to rank up. I've been using him quite a bit recently. We're going to look at him a bit later on, how I'm going to be using him in wars. Hot Rod is one up and coming. I might be using eventually. Jetfire I use a lot, so I've got 5,000 shards for him. That's pretty cool. I'm sure everyone's got, you know, a couple of thousand shards of most of these bots on the war team. You know, it's good to be able to rank them up. You know, I've complained a lot saying that these need to be lowered, but we've got another use for them, which I'm fine with. You know. Slingshot as well. Oh yeah, my slingshot needs leveling. I so hope that it increases ability damage. There's so many bots that I look at and go, they're just a bit short. They could do a bit of improvement. A lot of 4-stars as well. A lot of 4-stars I look at and go, they're good, but they're not quite good enough. But this helps free-to-play players where you can get 4-stars up to that level where they are almost as good as 5-stars. But then again, obviously, you've got the 5-star. The 5-star with these upgrades will progress. So, although it moves, you know, it's improving the 4-stars in the game. You know, you can invest in them. And, yeah, Slingshot is definitely one that I will be investing in, without a doubt. Yeah, but yeah, I'm really happy about this. I think it's going to be a really, really good move for the game. 6-gun as well, I'm using a lot recently. So, yeah, super pumped for this game. At the minute, the way it's going, and super pumped for all these new features, and cannot wait. Put in the chat, have you been saving your character shards? I said a while ago, listen, if you don't need them, guys, save them. I've said that for a lot of things. I said that about character shards. Look what's happening now. We've got this rank up thing. I said this about your Prime Core shards. I said save them, don't spend them, guys. We've now got Prime Cores coming on defense. I've said, listen, if you don't need it, save it. And you know what? I'm also saving Shanix as well. And I ain't got a clue what if anything's coming in Shanix. Nothing at all has been mentioned. No leaks, no whispers, nothing. But you know what? I don't need my Spark. I've got quite enough. I've got loads of Shanix there. But again, if they bring out a new feature, I am on it. And, you know, this player that I talked to yesterday, he started off by saying, Wozza, I know you spent a ton on the game. I was like, I don't spend as much as people think. I don't, honestly. If you ask some of my teammates, I am not the top scorer in the Alliance Order. I have the most bots, and I'm quite low down in terms of, from my level anyway, for the top level, in terms of bot collections and things like that. But what I do is, I invest carefully. Very carefully. I don't just pile resources into something that I'm not going to use. Make educated decisions, and this is what I do. I gather resources, I save them, and when a new feature comes out, boom, I'm on it. I'm ahead of the curve. You stayed ahead of everyone else, where everyone else now's got to buy lots of crystals to get all these resources. I've got all my crystals already. I've got all these 4-stars in reserve. I'm not gonna lie, I did open my prems because I was bored. I opened 300 prems, which I'm a bit gutted about, but hey, I got character shards out of it, so it'll still work. But you know, again, 5-star combat chip, I could pull this right now, but I'm waiting for a certain bot. I'm waiting for this to split up, so I've got a better chance. So hopefully I've got 2 pulls by then, and I've got a better chance of getting the bot. You know, again, staying ahead of the curve, increasing my chances, and being impatient. I'm not just pulling from it and going, yeah, it's alright, I'll wait. Because again, I could get Road Burner, or I'll try 7-shot or Wind Strike, or Sawtooth that doesn't suit my team. You know, and I'm not using them. So I don't want to pull them, so I'm playing the odds. You know, I'm waiting for the new batch. You know, I've got the bots I want out of this batch. SC Jetfire would be nice. But I've got the bots that I want, which was 6 going to Minerva out of this batch. So I'm waiting for the new batch. You know, and you know, I didn't do the endurance events for the last 2 bots. I do want skids now though, so I'm chasing skids at this batch. If I go and get top spin out of this event, that's saved for the next batch. I'm going to start saving my shards again, and then hopefully I'll have a couple of pulls in that batch, but I've eliminated top spin from that batch. So again, I'm sort of playing the odds a bit. So honestly, great bit of advice, guys. If you want to be a top player or catch up faster, you know, you do need prime cores, you do need certain things, but once you've got all them prime cores, and you don't need level 20 cores, guys, you don't. People will tell you that you do, but you don't, guys, honestly. For the amount that you gain for them extra couple of levels, it's not really worth the massive investment, you know. And I keep mine at around level 17, 18, and yeah, you know, for example, Death Pulse Core, you know, level 10. So if I was to level this up to, so at the minute I get 6 seconds out of it. So if I was to level this up all the way, I'd have to use 7. Well, that's even like high rank G metals. That's not even like low G metals. Let's try some low G metals and see. So if I use some low level G metals, I'm sure you're asking why I've got all these death pools, because I traded some cores in. You can see, yeah, look at this. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. So it would have to take me 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 22 G metal cores for 2 seconds. You know, and yes, over the whole base that will mount up, but then 22 G metals over the whole base will mount up a hell of a lot more. So don't get too, you know, stuck on maxing those cores out. EO cores, volatile mixtures, yes, but once you get close to maxing them, take a step back and just go, listen, I'm gonna pause here and just use my resources for something else. Spread your resources over. Let's have a look. Any questions in the chat? Put me in the chat and I will try and answer them the best I can. Let's have a look. Yeah, Chris Hammer's put normally the best of 2016, 17, 18. That could change this year because, like I said, the playtests have had a bit of a say in it. So hopefully they will change, but we'll see. But yeah, something else that it mentioned. So dead quick as well. So what we'll have is the ability. So when we go into this, you'll be able to get brainstorm bundles and blaster bundles and bumblebee bundles by just clicking on this. So you don't have to wait for the rotation, you don't have to wait for these bots to come around. You'll be able to press this and go and get a Cosmos bundle if you want. So really cool for making some bots more available than others. Again, the playtesters will probably have to speak with Hyro, but Hyro is quite stubborn when it comes to like values. But maybe we'll have to go through Dale, and Dale can sway him with a coffee. It's well known that Hyro likes a coffee and he gets swayed by it. Yeah, the values in terms of like how many crystals you get, I'm hoping it's 40 crystals, $20. I'm hoping that's the value you get. That's generally the value that you will get in these crystals. So if it's 40 crystals, $20, then I'm down with that. That's okay, no problem. And people have a better chance of getting whatever bot they want whenever they want. So really cool. Yeah, Vincent Lee's put about the ability from the previous bot. I agree, the smoking line is hard to be particularly useful. Yeah, I don't really get it. Yeah. MD Prime's put, and his SA stops unlike Warpath who can hit the Titan. Yeah, I don't like that personally. I think it's a bit of a glitch, but hey, who am I to judge? Talk about the new economy, and you could put, yeah, well, it means bundles wise, you can pick them up like this, be able to pick up whatever bundle you want But that's not in the Black Friday bundle. That's other bundles as well, though. Chris Harmon almost needs to be deployed behind the Wart team. Yeah, but even then it would only protect a few. And when they start to walk off, it's very thin line. I don't think they can increase the line. I don't know. It's again, it's the inter-test, but yeah. Chris Harmon, that'll do both. That would not be a good selling point. Yeah, but if the smoke was less, maybe, you know, it doesn't have to be the same as tracks. It can be 30% maybe. You know, 30% smoke in the area and then damaging a line. You know, and that's the playoff. I've always talked about playoffs. So you should be able to get one bot that can do this, and then one bot that doesn't do it as well but could do something different. And that's the playoff. Do you want less protection, more damage? Do you want more damage, less protection? You know, that's the playoff. They can call the new effect Purple Haze. I'm sure Wozza and GT. I don't think GT will know that. I do. I don't think GT will though. Alphatron's got 30k Prime Core shards safe for H18. Good. People who buy 100 bundles like me want lots of choice to get character shards. Yeah, same as. I want some decent bundles. Yeah, Super Scott, nice to doing something with the character shards, because 7,500 to get a 4-star is, and a chance of a G metal is ridiculous. So I'm glad they're doing something with it as well. Yeah. Yeah, Penny Lancaster talked about the 15k 5-star shards. I'm not a fan of giving out 15k 5-star shards. I said they should give out 3 legacy crystals, so it's just 3 5-stars. So you don't get to pick, but you will get 3 5-stars. That's not too bad, because obviously we get to pick and all that. And don't get me wrong, we've got loads throughout the year, but those that have been gone and are high-level players should get just 3 5-stars. I think that'd be pretty good. But yeah. Yep, Stan Tyrants, like the new bot, but I think the smoke should be spread out more. Yeah, that's the general consensus, I think. Yeah. Penny Lancaster, yeah, I wish they did that with Spark in terms of the you invest in one, it doesn't, but sadly that's just something they put in the game where they said they'd never change. That will always be the case, that you invest in one, that is it. 36 max, let me go and see how many cutthroat shards I have. Chris Harmon, yes, it is a special bot. Yes, it is. What else? Garrett's got over 1k crystals. 1k crystals saved up. Jeez. Well done. Well done. Where'd you go? Put new rank feature is great. Thanks for the hoarding suggestion. I'm a hoarder, baby. I do like a good hoarding. Are you psychic? If not, you're amazing. No, I've just got a knack for it. I think I've got a knack for sort of like looking at things in the game that are maybe stale. Things in the game that don't have a good use. That could have a use. You know, if it's got a use in the game, then use it. If it hasn't got a use, then save it. Because chances are, it'll probably have a use eventually. I don't know. It's just a knack that I've got, and I just find it natural. But I don't hoard everything. You know, if it's got a use, then I'll use it. But I'll say this much: I haven't been below 1 million spark in about 5 years. I think I got down to 1.2 million when I pulled my 3 5-stars, and I took 1 straight to 11 and a couple to 6. I think I got down to 1.1 million or something, and I was like, right, I need to build this back up again, and now I have. But yeah, literally overflowing like resources. So I've got 3.3 million of that. I've got, I don't know how much combiner spark I've got. Oh, 4 mil combiner spark, because I'm just sat here just upgrading Skyrim for the next 10 years, which needs addressing. And I'm hoping that's what Fabian was talking about in the stream when he said there's something good coming from combiners. I hope they are reducing the time needed. It should be a couple of days. That's all it should be. No, waiting 6 months to use a combiner, 4 months, whatever it is ridiculous. And then, as always, combat spark. I've got a stupid amount because I don't really need it. And Dial is still at level 1. Still. and he is staying level 1 until the apes buff him. There was a talk in the stream as well about them possibly buffing him. But yeah, not just Dio, but minions in general. It needs it. I talked about this a while back. I did a video on it and said how me and Tex talked about it as well in ranking the combats, that, you know, minions don't scale at all. They're a set health regardless. And I said as the HQs increase, minions will get worse because their health is less relevant. As bots level to 67, combats don't. So, but there was an inkling as well in the stream about combats having ability 11. So you never know. You never know. You never know. Could be interesting. It could be. Let's go back to the chat. See what everyone's talking about. J-Rad's put, I don't even have remotely close to that. Got to tune into the streams, bud, and you got to hoard them materials if you don't need. Well, again, if you don't need them, save them. That's my general rule. Matt Poe has got me beat on shards, 54k. Cool, good. But I bet I've got you beat at 5-star shards. So have a look. Oh, the chat's just jumped ahead. Fantastic for always getting the side pass. Yeah, it is really, really good. What level is my new Titan? My new Titan, mean Fort Max, is level 11. So yeah, 12 soon when I've done thingy this week, I think. A lot of chat. I'm trying to catch up because it just jumped ahead. Pete the Greek wants Nightstick. Good bot. Good. I won't be disappointed with Nightstick. He's in my war team, so yeah. What else? Wozza has the ape HQ bugged. I wish. I wish. Where'd you go, Spot? For the new bot, instead of smoke doing protection, why not have enhanced electrical damage? Since it's similar to Slingshot. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, but I think they want some sort of protection on it. I think they're not going to do away with that smoke, so you know. Yeah, same Pete the Greek. Spark's never an issue. Work from the 4 million cap. When I get close to it, use it. Yeah, same for me, really. Until we get a 5-star back, then I go low again, then build up again. Ricky Lau got 5-star prowl and G Metal G1. Yeah, I've got the same, but I think my prowls needs a little bit of leveling, I think. But yeah, 62-11. Yeah. Dojak rank for combats is a no-go at the minute. They said they won't be doing it, so yeah. And now a quick changeover. So now I want to talk about something else. So there's a bit of talk on the stream, and Fabian sort of gave me a bit of a shout out, and he wanted to talk about sort of bot XP and how it's going to work. I did show a bit of this on Monday, but we'll go through again because there's a bit of confusion and people saying that, you know, the XP requirements for bots above level 51 is going to be reduced so newer players can catch up. And I've said this time and time again to people that if you're a new player and you think it's hard to level bots now, you should have tried when I started in the game. It was double XP weekends every other week, and every other week that was single XP, and then they brought out triple XP, and everyone was like, "Whoa, triple XP!" And the XP was not a lot. I mean, we were fighting in zone 11 because obviously our bots were like level 50, something like that. And when you look at zone 11, the XP you get, just 100% the XP. That is it. It's not a lot, and you didn't have good bots at power level really. You had like Star Saver and Elita at a push, and even that was later on in the game. That was still zone 12 days, so it was super hard. You know, it's hard to power level when you've got Bumblebee, Ironhide, Optimus Prime, you know, Jetfire, Skydive, those sort of bots apart from an air show. But yeah, super easy to level bots now with the XP they give out in events as well and things like that. And a lot of questions about what's going to happen to my bots that are 65. Will it sort of cap over? So we're going to have a bit luck of that now and sort of rest some people's minds at ease. So to give you an idea, so I'll try and find a bot here. So you can see here, what we're going to do is going to bring this up as well. If I can, over the top. And let's try again. I'm trying to get this over the top if I can, but it's not working. I can get this over the top now then. Yeah, it's not working, so let's just do it like this. Let's go at them. Okay, so this is the XP chart for our bots. So level 64 to 65 used to be 48 mil. And you see there 23 mil, 29 mil, 35, 48. So when we sort of talked about level 6, 6, 6, 7, I was saying it's probably going to be about 60 mil. Which obviously with the scaling works out about right. If it's, you know, 13 mil from level 63 or 64, 65 even, extra, then obviously it's going to be an extra 13 odd mil for level 66. But obviously they decided to reduce the XP. So what will happen is the XP that you gained extra throughout this will get added onto your bots. So you can see here that level 63 wheeljack, that takes 24 mil. So 24 mil. You see there, level 63 used to be 35 mil. So it's been dropped by 11 mil just for one level. And once the cap unlocks, your bot will automatically level up. So we've got 64 there, it's just 29 mil as well. And then once the cap raises, your XP will go in. So you can see there that I've got 31 million XP on Seaspray now from the XP that he's received. So this is not XP that you've earned. So it's not like if you've used Seaspray over the last 6 months and is maxed out, the more you've used and the more XP you will get. That's not the case. It's the XP, it's the extra that you've got because you've had him at level 65. I'm pretty sure. I don't think the XP will carry over. It's something we've got to discuss with the 8s to make sure, but that's just because I was doing some testing with Jetfire. But you can see there that the XP requirements have all been reduced. So a lot easier, and even going down to 4 stars. So if we look at Rook, no, let's not get Rook. Let's look at someone else. Let's look at, because I've maxed all these on this account, but not in my actual account. So Jazz level 56, just 4.5 mil, 56. Whereas before it was 6.2 mil for a 4 star. So instead of 6.2 mil now, 4.5 mil. So a lot easier to level than 4 stars. So this will equate into it. So if your Jazz is 55, it might actually level to 56 or thereabouts. Or you'll get more XP into your bots. So when the cap raises and when they reduce the XP requirements, your bots will all kind of level up in a way. They'll all go maybe a level up. So really cool. I'm kind of glad they've done this, and it makes it a lot easier for new players. And you know, again, top players get accused of a lot. Let's be honest, they do. They get accused of ruining the game because they're pushing the game to be harder and things like that. But, you know, top players still want more top players. And top players want, or most of them, want new players to find it easier to get to our level, you know, over time. You know, don't get me wrong, I don't want the apes to click their fingers and go, there you go, guys. If you start playing the game, you can have 35 stars at level 65. I'd be like, whoa, hang on a minute. I've had to work hella hard to get where I am now. But there's guys out there that have just been playing the game for the last 2 years and are playing catch up. And I'm fine with these sort of things coming out to help them improve and try and catch the top guys up. And, you know, anything we could do to help them people to catch up will just make the game better. And it makes it easier on the top guys. And I know some of the top guys are like, yeah, but I like to spend money on the game and chase things. And they still can. And I'm hoping that, you know, there's still things in the game for top players to chase. Maybe these shards are a case of that. But again, just remember, guys, that we want lower players to be able to catch up and compete. But there still needs to be something in the game that the top players can chase that's quite exclusive. And I think a big one for me will be 5-star combiners. That'll be the exclusivity. And needing all the bots required for that, I kind of get that's something exclusive and hard to get. And some top players will have all of them. Some top players will have a few of them, like myself maybe. And some up-and-coming players might have 1 or 2. You know, it's not the end of the world. You've still got Omega. You can still use him. You might have another one maybe. Been lucky with your pulls. You might chase one. You know, but it's something for the top guys to try and achieve. So I'm pretty pleased about when that will come. I think that would be pretty cool. So yeah. Let's look back at the chat again. Super Scots, but why don't the stats change for the combiners and combat bots when you add tight abilities that increase them? I don't know, but I could not tell you. I've not tested it really, so I couldn't tell you. Vincent Lee, is the new top spin a better shield bot than Red Alert? I literally know as much as you. I couldn't even tell you how much protection is there. We've not got the bot on test yet. I imagine we'll probably get it tomorrow. It is a bit last minute, and as I did, not kicked off again, but I did sort of say, listen, I know you're going through busy stuff, but we did say that, you said that these 8-week sagas have to give us more time, and they aimed to give us the bot last week, and they've had some problems with it, whatever, but, you know, it is what it is, but again, we've not got a lot of time to balance it, so we need the bot yesterday. We really do. What else? Yeah, it might be, but I used to power level in zone 11 and 12, getting like 30k per battle. Yeah, exactly. They do need to increase the research lab, though. I do agree with that grind time. They do. That's something you need to campaign on. So we all have our little campaigns that we're doing. My big thing was Bumblebee. That was my big campaign a while back to make him better. I think I need a new campaign. You know, but that's what I think. What I really want to see in the game fixed and working or whatever. Like, it's been a long issue though. But yeah, the research lab a good one. That could be one for you, grind time. But I do agree. I've been playing for 396 days and I still have no 5-star. If you complete all the events, they're quite easy to get. I'm not gonna lie, but they are hard to complete events. You just gotta get in a good alliance and put up a lot of points. You know, and if you can do that, then, you know, 5 stars are quite achievable. The hard bit is not just getting the 5 stars, it's leveling them as well. That's the hard part, guys. So, but yeah, listen, get a decent alliance. Don't stick around a dead alliance. Get a good alliance that will, you know, do well in events, and you'll find you'll get a lot more 5 stars that way, and just put up as many points as you can. You know, with the if you get the battle pass, it helps a lot, guys. Honestly, you can go from like 25k to 35k very easily just with the increase in cells. So honestly, the battle pass is great value, guys. You know, I don't suggest spending on a lot of things in this game, but the battle pass and the starter bundles are 2 things that I think are must buys if you're a player in this game. But consider it anyway. Hey Nate, my good friend Nate, thanks for joining. Good to see you join a stream occasionally. Let's not talk about what my name is in line right now. I had a bet with another player, and stupidly. I was a bit cocky, and we had a bet. It called about me being a bit smarmy. I do sometimes for a laugh. It just a bit of a troll in that sense. Not trolling like really hurting someone, but I like to sort of like push the buttons a bit, you know. And we had a bet on who's to drop first. And he dropped, and I was like, oh, he's dropped, oh, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna win the bet. And the bet was that the other person chooses the person's name for a week online. And I was like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna win. And then literally, like, my base 5 attack went awful. It just fell apart. Bots went this way, bots went that way. One bot got stuck just smashing on the combine, and my tanks were down here, my gunners went upwards. It was absolute chaos. Just bad deployment on my part and just bad pathing for once. Hey, it happens sometimes. And a bit of it, I'm not gonna lie, a bit of it was down to the bug. I'm not making excuses because everyone had to fight with it. But you know, I did plan the attack out, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? And it was down to the build bots. Took the build bots out, and the protection was still there. So the way I thought they would path, they didn't. When I went to take out mortar, it didn't. So you had to use another ability, so wasted points and ran out of points, and you get the idea. But anyway, I lost. Be all and end all is I lost. So he gets to pick my new name daily, which has been quite amusing actually. You know, hey, listen, I said this, if you're gonna make a bet, you gotta stick by it though. Stick by. I'm again a big fan of do what you say what you mean, stick to your word, and I've got to do it. So yeah, it's been quite fun actually. It's been some good names there has. No, Paul, it's the same as Monday. Yeah, I talked about it on Monday. I know it was the same one as Monday. No, we've not had a war, a tracked war yet, but it's still going on because obviously it's a week. I don't even know what day we're up to. Is it day 4? I think. I don't know. I've lost track. I think it's day 4. I'll be glad when day 7's over. And you know what? I might even do another bet. I might even do it again just for fun. It cheers the alliance up. It keeps morale high, doesn't it? It's a good joke and a good laugh. So why not? If it's at my expense, I'm not fussed. But yeah, and just the last thing I want to do before we sort of sign off is sort of have a bit of focus on this bot. So I've been doing a bit of testing around these effects, and HQ18 is hard. It's hard, and this is the sort of layout that I've been running with. So this is what I generally have been doing. So some lightning rod cores. You see the force field disruptor, that's the new ray blocker when it's leveled, and lightning rods. So 3 lightning rods. Now I find this quite difficult. I use Bumblebee a lot, use Sea Spray a lot. So I was like, how can I take out this MDS for fairly cheap? So I could use Jetfire on that. Then maybe Sit's gun, take it out. But with the build-up protection, I've got to take these out first. You're talking out. Taking that build out, 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 taking the shield gen out, then taking the MDS out. And obviously you can imagine that is a lot of ability points. Now what I'm finding a lot of people doing is just literally just using a lot of protection, just taking out the FFDs, using tracks, and just walking towards the MDS and just concentrating on keeping your bots alive. Maybe even use the combiner even. But I started this on Monday and we're going to go to the next level on this. And we're going to try a nice little combo. And this is working absolute wonders. I've been testing this a lot. And it's this guy. It's a 4-star as well. It's Blur with Sidetrack. Now you can either use the Age Maximal or you can actually use Vector's probably better to be fair. I've tried sort of both. The Age is pretty good if you want to do more damage. But if you hit an MSM then this will sort of help you out and get through that. So yeah, this guy is absolutely immense. We're going to go primary, you're going to go hard mode. And I'll be honest with you, I can't remember where the mines are. I think I did move them out of the way. I'm not even too sure, but we can even test it hitting one. But honestly, this guy is crazy, crazy OP in this setup. Crazy, honestly. I can't say that enough. That once it gets to HQ 18, and we need some way to take out key structures, I think this guy has got it down to a T. So let's do this a minute. You can see there, look, taking all the build bots out. Yes, using all the ability points, but we took the FFDs out now. And this guy with invincibility is taking these out. And there he is. Doing his damage. Boom. He's actually just smashed against the wall there, but it is so crazy, crazy. Now look, it's still going. Still going. Absolutely crazy. So if you can time it right, you could take out that whole shield gen and the whole MDS section. Now you've got to be careful about getting hit by an MSM, because Blur can run through them, but if he's hanging around too long. So my recommendation is, if you can use Blur, try and finish off your second attack on the shield gen. So rush to some Billbot, take it out, rush to the shield gen, and then he will drop the combat. Don't forget the combat is a minion. He'll drop the combat, then you can rush off, kill the FFDs. You need to kill the FFDs without a doubt. That is the most important. But again, I've talked about in the past about playoffs. So if they're running 4 FFDs, I can use Sea Spray, I can use Bumblebee, I can take out one FFD core, it's fine. But if they're running 4 lightning cores or 3 lightning cores, then they're only going to use 2 FFDs probably. And most people do use 2 FFDs. So let's try this sort of system out. So let's do this here. So we pop the outpost as well. So then we're going to just hang around here for a second, drop the combat. And then take that out as well, and then Blur might even help finish that up as well. So the FFDs are down. Then the combat comes out. Look, you can see there, look. Doing loads of damage. Took out both of the MDS. Took out the shield gen as well. And actually withstanding this guy's ability as well. So if you can pop this guy at the attack, is invincible. And you see in there now, that whole middle section is gone. And yes, you know what? It's quite costly. But for the value that you get of doing that, you know, crazy good. And then it's just a simple walk. You can even try and pop more outposts if you wanted to. Again, it depends on the build bot layout. But yeah, absolutely crazy. Let's have one more go. And you got to think, this is not HQ17, guys. This is HQ18 maxed out. Now, there's no prime cores on the base because they're still trying to balance the prime cores. They're still a bit up in the air. Crazy powerful. Not too sure how they're going to be balanced yet. You know, it's hard enough killing a HQ18 without prime cores on defense. But yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. So let's just try and do this a minute. Let's try. So pop the outpost. Do that there. And then take the FFD out. And there's that combat doing the business. He's there, pop the outpost. Took out the MDS. Twin twist ability wasted. So these outpost bots are crazy good. Ability can be wasted very easily. Then the big question is just time. You know, if you got plenty of DPS in your team, and that's all you need. But yeah, you can see there that absolutely incredible. Absolutely 100% OP to the point of almost broken. But I love that. You know, we've got a 4-star bot in the game. Is there any counter for it right now? Yeah, there's MSMs, but you've got to be quick with them, well placed. You can space, like I said, things out, but with his range, it's kind of impossible to defend against him. And I do think it needs some sort of counter, because you can see there that it's crazy good, especially with this new combat. And I talked about earlier about a certain combat I want. This is the guy. Sidetrack. This is the guy. 5-star sidetrack and Blur. Crazy good. But does this mean we'll start seeing more backloaded bases maybe? You know, that are hard to sort of use Blur. Who knows? You know, this is what sort of sometimes evolves base design. People started using split bases a lot because of Goldfire and things like that, and creating anti-sack bases for quite a while. And obviously still a sack attack. I still think it needs some sort of counter. But, you know, it's interesting to see what the 8s will do with this. Because when you get an attack like this that does crazy good value for low ability points, then normally some sort of counter is brought out. And I've been fighting for this for a long while. I'm at a point now where, like, I've been fighting for that long, nothing's happening. If you can't beat them, join them. You know, not been a fan of this bot for a long time. I've been leveling background, but this is going to be my big focus this weekend. And the End of Saga event is leveling this guy and then trying to get sidetrack in a 5-star version. Straight to 10, straight away doing this. That is the idea. So yeah, if you are lucky enough to get 5-star sidetrack and you've got Blur leveled up, have a go, guys. Let me know in the comments. Let me know how well it's worked for you. Even if you're doing, you know, on base test, you know, on your HQ17 base, give it a go. Let me know how it works. Like I said, just stick to the rules of get rid of the FFDs. Because don't forget, he goes invulnerable when he transforms from the minion to the bot. But the FFDs kill that shield, so it's very important to kill the FFDs. So kill the FFDs. Use 2 abilities to get him on the shield gen. Smash the hell out of the shield gen MDS. We could change the meta with this. Maybe. Let's have a quick look in the chat. See what everyone's sort of saying. Joker's but hey GT. Currently we're in Wozza's wall layout defense, level 20 Titan. If it goes south, I'm running with yours. The funny thing is that GT actually uses a lot of my bases. But I do a lot of, yeah, to fair, I do a lot of testing on mine though, to fair, and I'm not saying that I'm the best base designer. I'm a decent base designer, but not the best. Like, I'm pretty decent at pathing wise, but sometimes I'll do it and go, yeah, it's not quite worked out. I need to move something or change something the way it's worked. So yeah, but don't forget this is just a test base as well for HQ 18, so it won't necessarily be the same, and things are not in place where they should be because I'm testing stuff. So don't follow my test bases, guys. If you want to follow my test on live server, that's fine, my base there, because that is designed for wars and wars only, where this sometimes is sort of cleared out for testing purposes. So just keep that in mind. Matt Paul has just seen my name on online. Super Scott put Blood's one of my favourite. I put Try 7 Shot. Yeah, Try 7 Shot's good, but let's be honest, he ain't no sidetrack. Let's be honest. No, actually, well, we've not tested Charmander yet. No idea. I presume we'll get it tomorrow, hopefully. Yeah, me too, actually, well, I hope he is really good. I really do. Joker, the latest combat is a perfect marriage of Chromia and Velvet on defense. I disagree. I think it's perfect for Twin Twist. Them two together do crazy damage. But that's for another day. But yeah, crazy. Matt Paul, don't let Sidetrack die whilst being hacked. Oh yeah, because it'll kill your own bots. Yeah. Top shot of blurs also crazy. Yeah, but again, it's not the damage this guy does. It's absolutely crazy. What is Sidetracked conversion? Conversion is growl. Rana Van Holland, ETN a 5-star batch. I reckon around Christmas time. I reckon the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks, something like that. I'm expecting. So yeah, something around there. I'm thinking. But yeah. Tiratana, what bots are having my outposts? I think currently I've got Rhinox with his G Metal G1. That's important if you're going to put him on defense. We can switch over actually. Who we've got? Let's have a look. So we've got Chromia out front. We've got Rhinox, like I said. We've got 6 Gun and Laser Optimus. That's who I've got in my outposts right now. So yeah, again, did a bit of a change round, changed my base up, but starting preparation for HQ 18 as well. So a bit of a time trap. I think I'm gonna go to time traps for HQ 18 a lot. I think you'll see that. But again, my own design. I don't copy these of anyone. I just like to do my own designs for my own sort of reasons, and then yeah. But yeah. Yeah, so that's another thing as well. So they have said that Topspin will probably be in the next batch. So they'll have 2 event bots. They'll have 1 community choice, and then 2 bots that the apes choose as well. And so Topspin will go in the next one, which I'm expecting then that, you know, the apes, that means that the apes need to bring out a new 5-star batch every 16 weeks. So every 3 months. If they want to keep up with that, of having 2 bots in each batch or thereabouts. Yeah, every 2 or 3 months they need a new 5-star batch. If that's what they're going to do. So, let's see how it goes. I'll be excited because the amount of 5-star shards that are in the game right now, they need to bring out some new 5-stars. So, it'd be interesting, but then eventually we'll start running out of 5-stars. So, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting over the next year. They've really upped the game in terms of releasing content and better content as well. You know, this time last year, I was ranting on my channel about how poor the bots were, and they were, and I still stand by that. I think last year was probably, maybe in the last calendar year, from sort of scattershot for that year, was probably the worst year in the bot's history. And that's why when Dale sort of says like, oh, we've got all these new players, and it's higher than it was 2 years ago, it's because the game had a massive lull 2 years ago because of the quality of content that was coming out. But the quality of the content is better now. It is a lot better than what it was. They're pushing some boundaries. I still think we need to be a bit more innovative. We're still seeing sort of a mesh of two abilities rather than new ones. Again, this is sort of tracks along with Warpath, so they need to be more inventive. That is for sure. I want something unique, something different, something new. That's why I suggested charging abilities. I don't mean charging in, I mean abilities that you use, and maybe it's a set cost of 6. Every use is 6. It's a set standard cost, but you have a charge up time. So when you use it, you can't use it again. And that means you can sort of push some boundaries because you can't spam it. You know, if you've got a charge up of 1 minute, say, you can only use it in 3 times in a battle, then you could have it so it can one-shot anything. You could one-shot the MDS next to a shield gen, but you can't use it again for another minute, so it's not as useful as you might think. You know, and I really like that idea, and that's probably the thing I'll push next. The thing that I'm really going to go with, that I mentioned to Dale. I'd really like to see that sort of thing in the game of charging abilities. I think it adds a new dimension rather than just the current, you know, just mixing of old abilities. You know, even the combats, you know, SG Steeljaw with tracks, you know, Zor being Jazz, you know, the new combat's quite unique. I will give it that. I did say that. I wasn't a fan when it came out, but obviously the more I play with it, the more I'm a fan of it. I just don't like it. I like the new combat when it dies. And that was my big point, that I don't rely on combats dying. I don't want my combats to die. But, you know, the way this latest combat, Growl and Sidetrack are set out, then it needs to die to get good advantage from it. Same on defense, same on offense. And, you know, the minion didn't do enough damage for me. But I still stand by that right now. But in this sense, really, really, really good. So, yeah. Polish, wait, what? You don't want more rush bots? Well, I've had a few ideas for rush bots, but I'm going to pass the apes and I'll see what they say about it. But it could be interesting. I've got some ideas. So watch this space. And listen, as always, if it's my idea, I will say it's my idea. If it's not, it's not. But I've got a good idea, which I'll put to the apes first. But yeah. Will we get a 5-star Tracks and Cup? Maybe. Maybe. You never know. You never know. Well, community vote, boy. That'd be the interesting one. Community vote. Will it be? Will it be Hound? Will it be Afterbreaker? You know. Will it be Cup? Will it be Tracks? Will it be Star Saber? You know, there's some 5-stars out there that have been long overdue 5-stars. Some where the meta's changed. Some where people just want it for a combiner PC, which baffles me. But I don't know why you'd waste a 5-star pull on a combiner piece, which is a 4-star. But hey, but yeah, it could be interesting. So yeah, lots coming in this next year. Super excited for this game right now. It's really going good places. It's for the first time for a long time over the last couple of months where I've actually talked about this game in a positive manner, and I'm super pleased the way it's going. They just need to speed up these bug fixes now. Be more creative with their content, and I think we're there. I think we've hit a new high on the game. I really do. But yeah, as always, guys, if you wanna catch my streams, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Never miss another stream again. Don't forget to obviously leave a like on the video. I mean, I'm sure everyone in the chat has already left a like on the video, obviously. But yeah, if you're not subscribed already, guys, hit that subscribe button. You know, to never miss another stream, like I said. And if you do want to catch my streams and you can't subscribe, then join my Discord, where you will get notifications of my streams as well. But generally, whatever you do, just come and join in, have a chat. Every Monday I stream at the same time. And Monday's just a general gameplay stream. We just chill, have a chat about whatever. Thursday we'll talk about some important matters in the game. We'll talk about the newsletter, what's coming, important features, and obviously cover the Space 8 streams when they do it and any new features coming out. So Thursday is very informative. Monday, a bit more entertaining, a bit more chilled. But obviously videos, I post at least 2 videos a week usually as well. But yeah, come and check all them content out, guys. Come and join me in the stream. And yeah, if you're not around, then I will see you on Monday. But yeah, thanks for joining, everyone. Really appreciate everyone that tunes in, everyone that supports the channel. It wouldn't be what it is without you guys. Really, thank you. And here's to the next year. Here's some great content coming soon. Can't wait to cover it. Can't wait to give you guys a lowdown. And hopefully, by watching this, you can become a better player in the long run, short run, whatever. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. And as always, guys, peace out.